House Concurrent Resolution 108 established a Native Hawaiian intellectual property working group to develop solutions to prevent Native Hawaiian intellectual property from being incorrectly appropriated. Now, yesterday, that working group had its inaugural meeting, and joining me once again to share more about that first meeting is the chairperson, the newly elected chairperson of the 9-member board, Kumuhula, Aunty Vicky Holt Takamine. Aloha, Aunty.
Aloha. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming back. We
Mahalo
appreciate
nui,
it.
yeah.
So for our audience, or maybe people missed the show yesterday, can you remind us what the purpose of this working group is?
Yes, so several years ago this has been going on for years, and only recently are we taking movement or action to help to prevent the misappropriation and the cultural appropriation of intellectual property rights. And people are like, what is that? Well, it's our hula, our cultural identity, it's our language. People just think that because, oh, that's a great thing, we can just use it and then commercialize it.
Right.
And then when they copyright it and trademark it, then it restricts my rights to use my own language, my own cultural practices for our own purposes to perpetuate our cultural traditions.
Which, from our kupuna back in Kawakahiko, that it's part of our culture. That's what we do, right?
We never had to protect our intellectual property rights. Right. We didn't know we had to do that. And this is a Western concept, Western concept that's being imposed on indigenous people.
Right, and I think one of the most notable in the last couple of years was that Aloha Poke one that we talked about yesterday, and they were sending out cease and desist letters for, even for Hawaiians that had their business that had the word Aloha or Poke inside. And
they were sending these letters out to all of these organizations or these companies that had an Aloha Poke sign, or I'm doing Aloha Poke. And they were sending that you cannot use the word Aloha and you cannot use the word Poke. No, you're not Hawaiian and you don't get to use it.
Right.
And you don't get to copyright. These are words that belong to the Lahui and everybody in Hawaii. Absolutely. I don't own it. Absolutely. You don't own it.
Yeah, we would never think to trademark those. Now, the latest one, this one was circulating on social media, is a company called Okina. It's a non-Hawaiian company on the continent that sells gluten-free vegan baking mixes. And on its IG page, it actually posted the meaning behind the word Okina, and it reads, as a letter in the Hawaiian alphabet, and Okina represents a break between two syllables, which is correct. As its name, Okina represents a break from the rush of life, a pause that renews both people and the planet. Now, Kumu, some might say it's taking our Hua'olelo Hawaii to a global audience. But can you share concerns from a Hawaiian perspective?
Yeah, so I think they misunderstood, number one. So you need to have a Hawaiian cultural advisor to advise you on this, because oki actually means to break. So I don't know if you want this thing to be broken, but now it's broken.
Yeah.
And so when we use the words like, I love the example of mai and ma'i.
Yeah, they're very different.
Big difference, because the okina between the A and the I, mai means to come, mai is my genitals, your mai. So you get your mai, I get my mai. And that's really important in the Hawaiian language. That little glottal stop is a break in your voice, not a break in the day.
Yeah, so
it's like, no, you don't get to use that for that purpose. There are other words that may be a little bit more better to use to mean take a rest, to ho'omaha, to relax. But when you talk about break, it's a glottal stop.
Yeah, so definitely would be advisable to get somebody on board. As you mentioned, a cultural advisor. Is that what you guys hope come out of this new working group? What do you want to see come out of this?
Well, we have some organizations that are already starting to train others as cultural advisors, and there are many people that are available to help you choose the right words. We're not saying that you cannot use Hawaiian words in your business. What we are saying is you can't trademark it and copyright it.
Right.
And I understand that there's a trademark and a copyright for your graphic design, because so many people use the word Hawaii and so many people use the word aloha. Their logo that incorporates those words in their logo design as a graphic artist absolutely is your own intellectual property rights. But the word itself, should not be copyrighted or trademarked.
I love that. And you know, you guys have a very big responsibility, kuleana nui, as this working group, and we just want to thank you guys so much for taking on this task. I know you're super busy, and we mentioned this yesterday, not like you needed to add something more to your plate, but thank you so much for taking the lead and the charge on this, and we cannot wait to hear what you guys recommend, what the board recommends, and how our legislature will implement it into perhaps law here in Hawaii.
Yeah, we'll keep you posted.
Yes, mahalo e kumu. Come back anytime. All right, once again, kumuhula Aunty Vicky Holt Takamine, thank you so much for being here.